All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, fellow Pandemonium travelers, this is Seattle Pandemonium Shutdown Day 323 by my count. And I'm back in the USSR. That's the United Soviet Seattle Republic, or United Seattle Soviet Republic. There we go. The USSR. So where was I last week? I'm not telling you. Somewhere sunshiny and tropical and warm and beautiful, and it was amazing. And yes, I had to get tested for the COVID, and I got screened, and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? There's a plus side to pandemic traveling. You know what it is? My goodness, I had count them, 1, 2, 3 seats all to myself on the way there, on the way back. It was glorious. I was setting up like an office space in there. I was stretching out, taking naps, watching movies. Ugh, wonderful. On the way back too, same thing. I don't ever want to travel another way, you know? Never mind first class, give me 3 seats. Just playing half empty on the way back, by the way. I'm half, third. Anyways, that was my pandemic vacation. Got a little sunshine. Maybe I got that vitamin D. Maybe that'll keep the Rona away. So what did I miss? I kind of had meant to try to do some installments from my tropical abode, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do vacation. I tweeted a little bit. I followed some of the nonsense of the inauguration and everything. And the lack of the emergence of all these right-wing insurrectionist uprisings that were gonna happen all over the country. Like one guy showed up to like the New York City or the New York State, like State House, and then like a bunch of anti-Biden leftist Antifa people rioted in like Seattle and Portland because, you know, that's the reality of the situation is Biden's not really a leftist. They don't really like him, and they rioted regardless. And so it's just, I don't know what people thought was going to happen. But I don't really want to cover all that because it's been covered ad nauseum and I'm sick of all of it. Okay. Biden is president. What are you honking at me? Are you honking at somebody else? Is a big truck honking at me? I don't know. Biden is the president. That is what was going to happen. Anything else was some kind of collective delusion that, you know, there was a path for Trump to, you know, overturn votes and change vote outcomes and blah, 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 but we just didn't get there. And, I mean, it was possible, but they didn't. So now here we are. Get this Democrat majority House, very, very near majority in the Senate. That's going to be tedious to watch every single thing that happens go through that. Talking about more impeachment of Trump and blah, blah, blah. I want to say I'm over it, but of course I will probably talk about it again tomorrow because what else is there to talk about? So, oh, and by the way, I'm still trying out this shotgun mic situation that I got to try to help the audio quality. Let me know if you think it sounds better than in the previous videos when I did not have it over in the past. Anyways, so what do we got that's really stupid today? We got Twitter doing some stupid nonsense called Birdwatch. Yes, that is as stupid as you think it is. So this is a highly stupid idea that is essentially a community fact-checking system platform tool mechanism that will allow Twitter users such as yours truly to fact check or provide I think it's one of those like the little alerts, you know, it's like a little note that's attached to a tweet. This tweet has been deemed to contain information that is not true. Now, I hear you. I hear you like, yeah, we need to be able to tell what's true and not on the interwebs. All right, fair enough. The best way to do that, of course, like Wikipedia, which is never biased or edited to have a slant of any kind by the moderators, who are totally objective and never make any mistakes or never have any bias. to have a community-sourced, crowd-sourced, fact-checking propaganda hunters, I guess is the idea. Truth seekers, fact hunters, disinfo hunters, people who think that they're branding little individual tweets with, bits of truth, like this is not true and I'm going to call it out in front of everybody. Oh God, it's just going to be so rife for abuse. Like, I don't understand what people think the internet is, what claims are, and again, like what epistemology is. Like, things people say things that are not true for a variety of different reasons, and I maintain that there's not really anything that institutions per se can do about that, aside from, again, institutions, government. What do you want the government to do? You want the government to be your fact checker for stuff? How do you think that's going to work out? Anything they say, they're going to say is true, and anything they don't say, they're going to say is false, or anything that makes them look bad, they're going to just say, that's not true. That's lies. That's a fake tweet. That contains disinformation. Sorry, not sorry, no thank you. I don't want or need our government to be involved in such activities, okay? That's pretty much the end of that conversation as far as I'm concerned. Now, giant multinational corporations like Twitter running a crowdsourced, campaign to try to brand everything as true or false or contains falsehoods or whatever. I also don't need them to do that for me either, but it's going to be funny to watch. And it's going to be funny to watch some people say that it is authoritative. That this is, somebody says this is not true, and it's going to be like, well, actually, it's partially true, because check this out, guys. Watch, check this out. Good God, spread your stuff around the sidewalk a little more. This is what happens, guys. News outlets do this all the time. There's early reporting. There's a mass shooter at a school or something. Remember the schools in the before time? When there were masses, there were mass shootings. Now there's no masses, so there's no mass shootings. Anyway, there was one in Indianapolis, like, over the weekend, though. They report possibly 2 to 3 shooters. Possibly 40 to 50 people injured. Reports of police officers injured. Okay, now they're reporting things that they have gathered from wherever, whether it's true or not. They're reporting information that they are being told is true. And you can go back to the classic of the airplane that had skidded on the runway. It was a Korean Airlines, and people somehow got them to report that, like, the pilots' names were, like, Something Wong and Wee Tu Lo. And, like, they read this on the air. Like, just early reporting and just being so caught up in trying to report the early breaking news that you report racist, stereotypical names. Offensive. Oh my God. So again, this is what happens. They're going to report CNN, New York Times, etc., breaking 911, whoever, WAPO. They're going to report wrong information, okay? They're going to report wrong information. Now, are people going to birdwatch that and be like, this is not true? Yeah, it's not true now that we have more information, but they were repeating at the time. Or how about there is a path to victory for Donald Trump in his quest to win the election? That was true back before all the avenues closed. So does that now become disinformation because, we've now gone through all of it and it was eventually a nothing burger? So, like, you can retroactively do this. You can do this to any form of speculation. Hey, Bitcoin's going to go up in the future. This contains speculation about markets, and you shouldn't take this person's advice because they're not a financial vet. Yeah, I know. Like, all of a sudden, like Twitter, especially Twitter of all places. Twitter is a hyper-partisan hellscape of lies, manipulations, exaggerations, distortions, hyperbole, straight-up disinformation by any and every political and social group. And then anything that's contested can be contested. And if we're talking about crowdsourcing, what are you talking about? You're talking about weighting certain reviewers and certain classifiers against other ones? Like, if I have a smaller following and I say, hey, this thing says Bigfoot's real, that's contested information, and then someone else has more followers or gets more people to say, oh no, it is true that Bigfoot is real. Like, how do you weight these things, and how do you know who's gonna, come on, construction bro, help me out here. How are you supposed to weight this? And this is why, again, I say this is an impossible task. The idea of the government doing it is absurd. The idea of a company trying to do it is also absurd. And I would laugh if it weren't also frightening, because now we're going to have a tiered validation system for concepts. Basic concepts, ideas, any speculation, jokes, guys, jokes. You could jokingly say whales aren't real. This was in their promo for their stupid, idea. Whales aren't real. They're robots invented by the government to spy on us. Okay, that is patently absurd, but also you could say that's a joke, right? Because people say things like this. They say, I don't think other people are even real. That's like a joke. That's like a ponderance. That's like an absurd claim. That doesn't deserve a fact check, and it doesn't need one. And people who need that kind of thing, this bizarre crowdsourced validation system is not going to help them. Like, if somebody believes that whales are robots and aren't real creatures, well then I believe that they're maybe too far gone for your little system to help them. But anyways, I digress. Look, politics has driven everybody insane. No one believes anything that disagrees with their worldview anymore, because you can always just go to imright.com and it'll tell you that you're right. And these exercises in attempting to do third-party verification, or this really bad idea of crowdsourcing crowdsourcing the proof of, whatever you want to call it, the truthiness of any given claim. To have Twitter try to do that, I just find it to be absurd, and I find it to be, it's going to be a fool's errand is what it is, because now you're just going to have people saying even increasingly absurd things just to mess with their fact checkers, just to mess with the fact checkers and give them more work to do so they overwhelm the system. They won't be able to handle all of the contested claims, and then you're going to have people who become bird watchers. I hate to even use their stupid branding like that, but like, I went in and I think I can apply to be one. I meet the basic criteria, I think. So now you got me as, I'm biased. I'm biased, and I think things are funny, so I might try to get something that's blatantly obvious labeled as contested just for fun, just to test the system. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have chaotic, minions like myself doing such things, which is funny. And then other people taking this all very seriously. Twitter is going to become the truth ministry, and everything that they validate is going to be factual. It's just like, again, just a fool's errand. I can't even believe that they would even try to pursue such an endeavor. I think there's no solution there. But anyways, back on the grind, boys and girls. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.